Greetings, Jiu-Jitsu nerds. Got my microphone working, so it better be sounding good. Test, 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 test. Hello, Jiu-Jitsu nerds. It is Thursday, October 10th. I am recording and producing this by myself, so not sure if anyone will be here because this was kind of last second. Decided to put it on just because there was some crazy, not crazy news that came out, but basically yesterday when I was on my way to jujitsu, I noticed that the ADCC live chat was going on and there hadn't been anything ADCC live chat related since ADCC. So I was checking that out and we saw a reaction from Mo. Um, that I guess it's the first time that we've heard from him. So we're going to talk about that. And also UFC Fight Pass Invitational 8, the news there. This is the first UFC Fight Pass Invitational that I've been to in person. Oh my gosh, I'm holding this upside down. And it was pretty cool. Very intimate, like not the craziest crowd or anything like that, but definitely cool to have a consistent place where Vegas grapplers and people can come and show their stuff. I thought there was plenty of good action. Before we get into some of the drama that happened tonight, let's just take a quick look at this lineup. Things started off a little bit slow. The first first four matches started off going to overtime and having to go to the scoreboard for points. But I still think a good showing for all these names that are not as big in the jiu-jitsu world yet, but they're on the come up for sure. Then we started to get into a little bit of spice when it comes to Souza versus Cisneros. Cisneros representing the Philippines, so it was nice to get some Filipino representation there. I think this is the highlight that we had of that.
Head to the center line. Run your feet to the left. Run your feet to the left. My side. Can't come
in. There were so many out of bounds moments, but at least with this UFC fight, we didn't deal with running the risk. So if they do fall off, there's like carpeted stuff going on there, but still you have so many people guarding the sidelines. So it was a crazy scramble there from Josh Cisneros, who I really wanted to get the win, even though Gabriel Souza is a freaking beast as well. But I'm just biased, and I was rooting for the Filipino. He also had a Filipino walkout song, Black Eyed Peas, Bebo. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that stuff, but shout out to him. He's definitely going far. Before we continue on, we have to give a shout out to Gabby Garcia, who's in the building. She was texting Craig in that moment. And I do think we have to hold those to the things that they promised us, aka that OnlyFans collab. Craig's been kind of ducking the question, and I'm like, Craig, you can't promise things and then not deliver, okay? Okay. I don't know. Should we get into like the tea that I wanted to share with you guys before we jump into all of the UFC Fight Pass stuff? Okay, I want to show you guys really quickly the ADCC live chat that I literally was about to miss. The only reason I caught it was because there was an accident on my way to jiu-jitsu, and it ended up pushing back time, so I had time to check out this ADCC live chat. And I texted Craig today. I was like, oh, did you see the ADCC live chat from yesterday? And he's like, oh no, what was said? Here is a little sneak peek.
Hey guys, I'm tired. You gotta understand something. When you organize at this level, like at these big events, it's brutal. It's not fun sometimes. I will say this though, if I do another world championship, I'm gonna do it very different. I'm gonna go smaller arena, make it more intimate, lower the costs, and then that way I can, I'd like to do something for the athletes internally, you know? Just go smaller venue, and I would do like a crazy like week-long thing.
Hello, friends. Sorry, I haven't been looking at the group chat. Thanks, homies. Thank you for being here right now. Honestly, I wasn't really even expecting anyone to be in here right now because it was so last second. But yeah, that was the live chat from Mo Jassim recently. We are still not 100% sure if he's going to be doing the 2026 ADCC. But I guess if he is, he's going to be approaching it in a different way and is probably not going to be returning to T-Mobile Arena for one, which will cut costs, which will mean he'll have more money that he can give to the athletes. So yeah, I made a little quote card graphic and sent it to Mr. Craig. And now let's just take a look at what the BJJ world thinks about that. Let me see if I can share my screen. All right. Let's do entire screen. Boom. All right. I hope this is sharing the screen. If anyone is in here and can confirm that you guys see my screen, that would be super helpful. Yeah, so Craig Jones just in the comments took a spiritual journey to arrive at this conclusion. What a genius. Where does he get these ideas? More Hall of Fame next time, please. Yeah, and I just commented that the effects of CJI so far have been matching women's pay, show money for all athletes, and now reducing stadium size and cutting production costs to give more to the athletes. Oh, it's not showing the screen? Puta madre. All right, wait. Okay, we're a step closer. Add to stage. All right, hopefully it is showing the screen now. If you guys don't follow, or if you don't have Instagram, that's like a big reason why I like to do YouTube live chats, because I feel like a lot of the jiu-jitsu community, if you're smart, you don't have Instagram, because Instagram is just a cesspool at times. But it is where a lot of the news breaks. So yeah, we had this graphic. Sorry, I had a typo. That was supposed to say intimate. But if I do another world championship, I'm going to do it different. I'm going to go a smaller arena, make it more intimate, lower the cost, and then that way I'd like to do something for athletes internally. I made this comment, and then I think there was a lady that mentioned something about, I don't know, just kind of complaining that the woman didn't get a lot of the pay, or that Fionn wasn't paid $1 million and all that. Baby steps, people. We are on the road to getting everyone the pay that they deserve, but I am 100% confident that Fionn and Mackenzie are very satisfied with their pay for one super fight versus winning ADCC and getting less than what they would have gotten, much less. They have not publicly disclosed like how much they've made, but you know that every single athlete in the CJI $1 million brackets got $10,001 just to show. So super fights would obviously be much more than what they would have earned with ADCC. So yeah, we're just trying to keep it real with people. I hear you all the people who want the $1 million female division. I hear you. But we're taking baby steps, because we cannot forget the fact that women were paid $6,000 to win ADCC just in 2022, and then this year is the first year that we are seeing that they got 10,000. So Adele got 10,000. Rafaela Guerrez got 10,000. She won. And yeah, so this is what I kind of want to dissect on Monday. What does Mo Jassim mean by I'd like to do something for the athletes internally? Because immediately my joking mind also had this comment that this guy said, something internal equal pizza party. I've been in corporate America long enough to know this. Literally, that is the first thing that I came to think of. Like, what is the least amount that they could give the athletes? But I'm sure that it would mean higher pay. We do know that all the ADCC athletes were given at least $2,500 just to show. So if you did lose in the first round, you still got paid, which is huge. And yeah, we're just seeing an awesome movement. And I know in this live chat as well, Mo was talking about how excited he was for the Pixley versus Nicky Rodriguez matchup. And so, yeah, you know that he's just a big fan of jujitsu. And this guy, Hungry Coach PO, internally means no transparency. Yeah, internally kind of sounded like for a second under the table money, when we just want it to be in the open, what the athletes, or I guess we don't need to be up in the open, but it needs to be more than zero. So yeah, that was a little bit of the news there. Hopefully it was sharing my screen. That's good news about ADCC. Yay, I'm glad you've seen it. What's up, Dave? It's been a while since I've seen you, homie. So yeah, let's dive back into UFC Fight Pass Invitational. This live chat is not going to be super long, guys. The longer one will be on Monday at 9:30 a.m. is the new time. I'm fully committing to being a YouTuber now, so the more you guys share my stuff, the more it'll be helpful, because we're just, really investing in this channel, and hopefully I can get like decorations and stuff for this so we can like really have a BJJ nerd out sesh. But okay, so UFC Fight Pass Invitational results. The first 3 matches, as I mentioned, went into overtime. Not super exciting, but then we got Gabriel Souza defeating Justice Narrows in overtime with points 2-0. And then this is where things get spicy. Raquel Canuto defeats Gabby McComb in overtime by submission, rear naked choke. I'm just going to list out all the results first, and then we can look at some of the highlights. Dante Leon defeats Andy Varela by submission in regulation, and Ronaldo Jr. defeats Isaac Bahines in overtime by submission. So the main card really delivered. Like, everyone got submissions. And then Renato Canuto defeats PJ Barch by submission. You guys won't believe it. Heel hook. Super impressed with Renato's performance there. And then I think a lot of people were surprised that it was by a leg lock, because PJ Barch is just such a good leg locker, counter leg locker. And then finally, the main event, Nicky Rodriguez defeats Michael Pixley by submission, rear naked choke. Classic Nicky Rod victory right there. Now I have some highlights, because this is the first UFC Fight Pass Invitational that I went to. Shout out Heather Gracie, the co-owner of PGF. She got me a pass to go in. So let's take a quick look at Raquel Canuto's win. She is the head coach. Hear the crowd at the Apex going crazy. I'm not gonna lie, the Apex energy isn't, what you would experience if you were at like a ADCC or CJI or even a different type of tournament. It's just very intimate and it's very nice. But you really heard the crowd pop if they were locals. So Raquel getting the win there was huge. Now let's move on to the rubber match. Jake Barger and Nando Canuto. They first faced off. I can decide. The last time that they faced off was at season 6. And I was the sideline reporter for that one. Saw it all happen right then and there, and I was worried for Renato's knee, because it was just a crazy counter leg lock, heel hook submission from PJ. Beautiful stuff, but I was like, oh my God, that looked real painful. But he seemed to be fine, and now he immediately called out for a PJ rematch. And when rematches are so close together, you kind of think that like, oh, well, what's going to change? This, it just goes to show how confident Renato was to make that call out and be able to deliver like he did and do it in the leg lock department. FYI, your clip audio is very loud and totally overpowering your talking when it's playing. I edit and produce, so I figured you'd like to know. Yeah, no, that's definitely good information. I just got this new microphone, so at least we're moving on with that. But yeah, that is definitely good to know. I mean, I'm sure these clips are probably super loud because they're in the what's it called? Ooh, I have a thing that I can change it. Okay, good to know. Yes, thank you so much because I can actually make it not as loud from here. Um, all right, now let's get to. I didn't get any clips from the Dante Leon versus Andy Varela match, but I wanted Andy to win so bad. Uh, but it kind of like got all screwed up because Andy ended up getting a point taken away for a slap. But I mean, it wasn't anything more vicious than like, people just kind of collar tying. Yes, it was, kind of a slap to the head. And then Victor Davila ended up standing them up or resetting the position. And he actually stood up Dante a few times because he was just, butt scooting and stuff, and it was getting a little boring. And Andy ends up going for a double leg takedown, gets stuck in a front headlock, ends up guillotined. And I think in the post-fight interview, Dante Leon said something along the lines of, I think Andy was getting a little frustrated. He couldn't pass my guard, and that's why he slapped me. But yeah, it would be awesome to see them run it back or something because I was rooting for Andy on that one. And I thought that it kind of getting reset was unfortunate, but still a good matchup nonetheless. Now let's go to the issue. Okay, and this was something that Craig was talking about on his Instagram stories. The amount of resets that they had. We're not too bought. Like, I feel like there were other UFC Fight Passes where it was so annoying, especially because when they were on the elevated surface, you really had to stop the action or else they were going to fall on their head. But this one, there were still a lot of resets, especially in the Pixley versus Rodriguez match, because Pixley was just like constantly evading, constantly backing up. And I think we saw Nicky Rod kind of dominate basically in every department that he could have. At first, he started off like pulling guard a little bit, and then they got reset to start off the feet. But then when they were on the feet, he was getting the best of the wrestling exchanges. And I have a few clips that I can show you. Yes! See, I can lower the volume now, so hopefully that's less horrible for you guys. If you can hear my voice be louder than the clip. But yeah, again, they go out of bounds. This is in regulation. And now Nicky Rodriguez again gets a takedown, this time in overtime. But like I said, if they had the alley, which rumor has it, there could be a lot of jiu-jitsu promotions that end up going the alley route and copying Craig's idea. Which, is a good idea to copy because anything with the slanted walls is definitely the move for jiu-jitsu. I think it's an even better option for jiu-jitsu. I think the pit in the alley does more for jiu-jitsu than it does for karate combat because I feel like when you're striking, it just doesn't really do anything. Like there's very few kicks and cool things that happen off of the pit wall. And I feel like it's just so much more beneficial for grapplers. And I think Craig kind of exposed that. Nicky Rodriguez ends up getting to the back of Michael Pixley and getting the sub. And it was just chef's kiss that he ended up getting the submission in classic Nicky Rod fashion. And immediately after, he does.
So if y'all want a match, hit me up on Instagram, call me out, and let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen.
So he makes a very general call out. Oh, jiu-jitsu nerds, you have to do homework before our next live chat, okay? Are you upset that I'm giving you homework? Maybe some of you guys already did it. You have to watch the Jake Shields, Gordon Ryan interview that happened. I think they posted it about this week. I saw Jake Shields. I was going to interview him, and then I was just like, my phone was running out of battery. I'm sure I can get into contact with Jake at some point. But he was definitely getting Gordon Ryan's opinion on everything in the jiu-jitsu world. So make sure you guys watch that interview so that we have something to talk about on Monday at 9:30 a.m. for your favorite jiu-jitsu live chat. And also, I am open to suggestions. If 9:30 a.m. Pacific doesn't work for most of the jiu-jitsu nerds, we can find a different time. But I figure since I'm on the West Coast, 9:30 a.m., like maybe people are on their lunch break, maybe the people on the West Coast can start their day with me. So yeah, that's your homework. Make sure you watch that clip because we are going to have a lot to dissect. But as I mentioned, Nicky Rod tells Brandon McCatherine that he has no one specific that he's looking to call out. If you got a problem with the $1 million jiu-jitsu grappler, call him out on Instagram. But then I just saw on Instagram that Mackenzie I forget her last name, Mackenzie P, she works with the UFC, interviewed Nicky Rod and asked what he wants next. She mentioned Gordon Ryan. He did not even go that route. He is not even speaking his name right now, which I think is good. I think that's the right way to go about everything. And he said that the match that makes sense for him for UFC Fight Pass next, drum roll, does anyone know who it is? Does anyone know? I'll give you a hint. It's an ADCC champion, multi-time champion. Did anyone see the clip? Pop quiz. I feel like I'm the teacher in college when you're asking your students questions and everyone's just like high in class and can't answer the question. Anyway, thank you so much, Fred. Nicky Rodriguez said the next best matchup for him is Kaynan Dwarch. So, nope, not Victor Hugo, but good. A for participation. A for participation, my friend. Again, there's 15 people in here right now. If you guys could smash that like button so this gets out to all the other jiu-jitsu nerds. Like I said, I'm going full on YouTuber full time. So any support is super helpful. I don't know how to get this bar to go down. I'm going to fix that for next live chat. But yeah, any support from you guys is super helpful right now because we're going to be trying to make ends meet with this whole YouTuber thing and going live all the time and also just making videos in general. So I hope you guys enjoyed this random and spontaneous live chat because yes, it was Kaynan Dwarch. And I will see you guys at the next live chat. We're definitely going to have one 9:30 a.m. Monday. Don't forget your homework, which is to watch the Gordon Ryan, Jake Shields podcast. And yeah, let me know in the comments if there's any other jiu-jitsu news I'm missing and what your reaction is. Oh, this will also be your homework. What do you think the chances are that Mo runs 2026 ADCC? And what do you think he meant by doing internal changes for the athletes for the next month when we look at the recent graphic that we posted about him talking about cutting prices or cutting costs by moving out of T-Mobile Arena and all that. So what do you think he would deliver to the athletes internally? And why does it have to be internally? I feel like not being transparent is kind of weird. Alex, the best thing to happen to jiu-jitsu since Craig Jones. I love you guys so much. And I literally love Craig so much. They said, oh my gosh, one of the most irritating moments of the Gordon Ryan, Jake Shields podcast was when Gordon said something along the lines of like, Craig is the exact opposite of who he is online. Like, Craig is this fun, giving guy online, and he's the complete opposite. And I was like, that is so not true. But anyway, love you guys more. I will talk to you guys soon. And make sure to smash that like button and leave a comment just because it's good with the algorithm. I'll talk to you guys soon. Oh, and also I have big news coming up about a promotion that I'm going to be covering. So stay tuned on my Instagram and all that because I'm going to be busy in November and October. So see ya.